Reddit Stories number 1.
I had a 2005 Volvo XC70. I loved that car so much. 2 liter 5-cylinder turbo, although it wasn't the high-pressure T5, just the 2. For T, God did that engine make a great noise. The car had 265,000 miles on it when I bought it for $300. Because of its high mileage, I named him Miles, and he was also the namesake for my Reddit account. For insurance reasons, we put it in my dad's name. That'll be important later. I spent some money fixing him up, making him nice, replaced wheel bearings, boost control valve, some interior bits, most notably the clips in the shifter that kept it from falling from drive to Getronic mode, and then some general maintenance items after that. The car needed a gearbox, but was drivable, so I was happy to let it go until it didn't before I replaced it. If it grenaded, I had backup transportation anyways, in the form of my dad's car from before he worked from home. I was planning on finding an S60R on Copart, pulling the T5 and M66 manual, and swapping that over to Miles. It was certainly ambitious, but when my grandma passed, I was to be given her 0 Buick LeSabre, so I would have lots of time to get it done. When my grandma passed in early 2020 and I got her car, my parents decided to sell Miles, despite the fact that I had paid for the car and over $500 in maintenance items and put tons of hours into it. They said that it was too unreliable and that it would be a bad car and that I had to drive the Buick. They sold it for $400 and gave that money to me. It was worth a lot more than that though. It was a road legal car with air conditioning in full, so it was at least $1,000 car. The annoying part about all of this is that I drove that car from about 265k to 288 for 163 miles exactly. In that time, the only notable non-maintenance item I did was the BCV. In the Buick, I drove it from 110k to 118k, and in that time I replaced the fuel pump, the radio, 2 window motors, the radiator, the intake manifold gaskets, and the windshield wiper motor. After that, I found a cheap runabout and dumped that turd while the market was high. Obviously, Miles did have one big-time bomb of a problem, but it wouldn't have left me any more stranded than half the stuff that went wrong on the Buick. But anyway, rant over. I am currently counting my pennies for another Volvo. I followed the VIN on Miles and he has currently got a COD, so that is a no-go. Looking to buy a C30 sometime in the next year, though I'll get one that already has the 6-speed in it. TL, drive. I liked my Volvo and intended to drive it forever, even if it wouldn't have been a daily forever. But when I was given a better car that cost way more to keep running despite being much younger and me not putting nearly as many miles on it, my parents sold it without my permission.
Reddit Stories number 2.
2007 Subaru RX bone stock with a manual transmission. My best story is a couple points. They were longer stories, so I put a tilde at the end of each chunk. One time I was driving at night in the rain with my GF. Was going way too fast around some nice corners near my house. Coming right out of a corner into a stretch with a passing lane, I hit a massive puddle and started hydroplaning. I could feel the loss of control, and as soon as I started angling toward the center of the road, my GF starts freaking the fuck out. Goes to grab the handle by the top of the door, and then is groping for something else to grab. She grabs the e-brake and yanks on it. This is catastrophic, and we immediately starts doing 360 s while still doing like 70 mph. Thankfully, I had forced the car into a drift a few times and I was good at putting the handbrake back down quick, so it was only up for a few seconds, but we did like a 880-degree turn. I didn't even realize I was now going the wrong way once we came to a stop until I had gone like 3 miles back the other way. About 15 seconds after we start spinning, I am going really slow and I've stopped doing circles and a horrible stench spreads through the car. My girlfriend has apparently very lightly shot it when we started spinning. We drove home with all the windows open, dead silent despite the rain, after she had gotten out and wiped herself with her underwear that she subsequently tossed into the bushes on the side of the road before getting dressed again and getting back in the car with her entire TL, drive, driving fast, rainy, dark, with girlfriend, start hydroplaning, girlfriend accidentally yanks handbrake and we start spinning. After recovering, I notice a horrible smell. GF crapped herself thinking we were about to die. My next best story would be the first time I broke triple digits on the speedometer. Was trying to pass a Mustang on some curves that they were taking way too slow. We hit a massive passing zone with nowhere for cops to sit. It was a common place for drag races because of it. I go to pass him after he was doing 2,530 around corners rated for 45 mph. I pull out and speed up and start gaining on him at a normal pace, Once I am level with him, I hear him put the clutch it and rev his engine before re-engaging the clutch. I do the same while we are staying even and he makes the go sign with his finger after like 10 seconds. I drop a gear and goose it thinking no way I win and he stays level and gains for a second cause. I was faster dropping a gear than him so I got a head start and then I still hear his engine screaming as he gets closer, then it drops for a half second and I just hear a bang clank 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 clank. I slam on my brakes same as him. Turns out he shifted really badly into 4th and broke several teeth. He has to get his stang towed and he asked nice about it since I actually stopped to help him. He gave me the video his girlfriend was recording and I hit 120 minimum cause he was doing 128 and gaining steadily on me before he fucked up a shift. TL, drive, raced a Mustang I was trying to pass, hit 120 mph before he fucks a shift and knocks a bunch of teeth off of 4th gear. Got the video from his girlfriend so I know he hit 128 and wasn't he gaining on me too fast. I stopped to help him. It was the first time I hit triple digits driving.
Reddit stories number 3. 2000 Mercury Mountaineer V8 got it in 2013 as a combination graduation, 18th birthday, Eagle Scout gift from my grandpa. I was quite happy with it initially. Free wheels, was in very good condition, low miles for its age, only 72, 0 miles over 13 years, and was very practical as a work truck for going places and doing things that couldn't be done in, say, my friend's Honda Accord. I ended up naming it Abrams because this thing was a tank. I made a lot of great memories in that thing. It was my daily driver for the last few months of high school, college, and the start of my career as an electrician. Abrams saw me through the best and worst of times. It saw me with my first girlfriend I've ever had, my first job, times when I was depressed as fuck, and all the fun times I've had with my friends. Occasionally it served as my motel when I was away from home and didn't have a place to sleep. It held everything from firewood and beers for middle of the woods bonfire parties, to band equipment for my friend's rock band they had in college, to scrap copper cables from when I was a broke-ass apprentice trying to make some extra money on the side. At one point I stuffed me and 6 of my friends in there eating takeout after a night out. Abrams led me through a fun and interesting time of my life. Ultimately, I had to get rid of my Mountaineer in 2018 after the transmission failed at 115 miles. The reverse gear blew out when I went to back out of my driveway one day. And that was in addition to a ton of issues and thousands of dollars I've put into it prior to its ultimate demise. Sure, it kind of turned to shit after it got over the 100k mile marker, but everyone always makes fun memories in their first shitbox car, and I don't regret having Abrams for those 5 years. Reddit stories number 4.
It as a car most want to know but a 2000 Citroen C15. I bought it for my best friend. He wanted to sell me his bike. Told him I wanted his car rather. So he sold me this absolutely beautiful motorcycle and gave me the car for free. I was gonna sell the bike but I really fell in love with it so I kept it. I used the car most of the time. Since it was a free car I didn't really bother with it, neither did he, so it never was maintained properly. Bald tires, old brakes, old oil, etc. I got a few stories I like. There's inspection at my country when you change owners and yearly inspection. So we go to the inspection place, gets inspected, no faults. After 2 months I gotta go back for some reason. They require me to go out, so I go out. I see the car pissing away brake fluid out the right rear drum. I am looking at that, well fuck, there goes this inspection. Nope, guy didn't see, gets past, no issues. Fixed it after a week. Another time I was driving around town at night smoking, windows open, blasting music. Suddenly the fuse blew. I got no lights on my dash and no radio, so I pull over in some parking lot, take a look under the hood for the fuses. Yep, blew a 5 amp, no issue. I hotwire it with some leftover wire from the dash. So I take a loose wire, cut a bit of strip it, put it in there, and go on my way to my then GF. We get in a fight, I leave and proceed to do 60 mph 100 in a 4070. I think I need some fuel, so I go to a gas station and I wanna smoke, so I go to a parking lot thinking I need to calm down a bit before driving again. Suddenly a motorcycle cop pulls up flashing lights. I am thinking fuck, I am getting a ticket. Yeah, we got a tip of a suspicious vehicle at a known drug place. You might don't do drugs. I blew a fuse and fixed it there. Okay, any other problems? So I jokingly say only mental issues. Got a full inspection from him, even called dispatch with my ID card to check my mental issues. He wasn't pleased.
Also, the windshield would glaze over in winter on the inside, so I'd end up driving window open. Head out the window to discover the window would fall down in the door, so I'd drive with the door panel in the back and pop the window back now and then. Now remember the bald tires in winter. Well, my dumb ass went to work early to beat winter traffic and had 20 minutes to spend in an empty parking lot near my work. So I'd slide about in it after some time. I think time to park at my work. So I want to take this 90 turn with the handbrake, so I lock up the rear and it starts sliding straight towards my boss ass car. I'm going oh shit, turn. Slowly it starts turning away from his car, only to sideslam a small 5-inch concrete divider with such force it lifted one side and completely bent 2 rims. I managed to drive off from that and drove like that for another month before I bought some snow tires. Reddit Stories number 5.
90 to Toyota Camry. The previous night I had been invited to a party about 30 miles away, up and down gravel and dirt roads where cell phone service is little to be had. Of course, being the teenagers we were, I had little idea about where this party actually was. I also figured out that night that the fuel gauge is dependent on the inclination of the car. My car quickly went from reading half a tank to empty, and me from fine to freaking out that I punctured my gas tank. I'd stop at the tops of hills, where I got reception, and call for directions. I'd eventually arrive and basically park behind another kid at the party in the middle of the dirt road, apparently not asking myself how I was to get out if someone parked behind me. I proceed to drink, put my first kiss on my now current girlfriend, and thoroughly enjoy an evening in the most beautiful of all ways. I wake up with the sun at about 7, and wake the girl I kissed the night before, and we make to head out. We get in my car. Due to my great maneuvering skills, we get out of a parallel parking hellhole. One problem. We were facing the wrong way on the road. We were backing up, passing all the cars of the people that had arrived after me and trying to find some way to turn around. Lo and behold, up ahead, or rather behind, I see a driveway that I can shove my ass in and spin myself around. This turned out to be a terrible idea. I am perpendicular to the road, just about to enter the driveway when I feel my back tires drop off. At this point there is nothing I could have done. The whole car backs off the lip of this driveway. I get out to view the damage, and I find my stunning 90 to Champagne Camry wedged between a fence post and the steep slope of the driveway, perpendicular on some Hicks driveway, with dogs going crazy barking at me. I run back to the house and borrow a friend's SUV, and by some great luck, a chain on the ground, complete with a hook on one end. I chain my tire to the back of this SUV and pull my car out by alternating between reversing my car into the fence post to gain some slack room, and pulling with the SUV. That day I thank the beer gods for not forcing me to call my daddy and tell him I got my car stuck 30 miles away on some weird road. Oh, and if you smell beer, I am not drunk, just hungover. Would have, however, all been worth it for that kiss.